The film begins by showing a woman named Claire, an introverted hairdresser, drinking coffee, while waiting for clients in a charming beauty salon. In comes Sarah, a vibrant and cheerful woman who seems to radiate happiness. She is looking to cut and dye her hair. Claire offers her something to drink, and she chooses a glass of red wine. Asking questions about Sarah's personal life, Claire sharply figures out that Sarah is out of town as she shares stories about her husband and her 12-year-old child. She also tells Claire about her toy boy she met this weekend and admits that no one else knows she is cheating, and she only told Claire because she is a stranger and they will never see each other again. After hours of talking, the client notices that everyone else has left the salon, and that they are the only ones left. As Sarah continues to drink the wine, her hand goes limp, and she drops the glass on the floor. The client passes out, but Claire is not alarmed by this, because she spiked the drink before handing it over. This signals Claire to cover up the salon window, and begin the gruesome act she has been planning this whole time. She moves with calculated precision, preparing her tools with a chilling calmness. We witness Claire's transformation from a quiet, introverted hairdresser to a cold-blooded psychopath. She begins by gracefully cutting along Sarah's hairline, and proceeds to pull the scalp and hair from Sarah's head. Back at home, we find out that Claire is a lonely woman. Nobody lives with her, except a dog who is always there, waiting for its psychotic owner to come home. Claire retreats to the basement, a haunting lair where she hoards her victims' belongings. The room is filled with mementos and hairpieces, each representing a life Claire has stolen. She arranges the stolen hair into wigs, each one becoming an eerie symbol of her twisted desire to be someone else. She gazes into the mirror, addressing herself as if she were Sarah, reliving the happiness and love she could never attain in her own life. The chilling scene is a haunting portrayal of Claire's fractured mind. The next day, we get a glimpse into the life of the other woman, named Olivia. She seems happy and fulfilled, while Claire, on the flip side, is trying to get on with her life to normal after the last murder. When she stands in line to get her morning coffee, she notices a small drop of blood is still on her boot, and she gets a little preoccupied trying to cover it up. Finally, she manages to get rid of it and gets her coffee from the barista, who already knows her because she's a regular customer there. She seems to be lost in a world of her own, but reality hits when she receives a text from Olivia, one of her loyal customers, seeking Claire's expertise for her upcoming wedding. Reluctant, Claire hesitates to accept the request, knowing the disturbing fate that often befalls those who enter her world. To add, Olivia has no one else to turn to at the last minute, so she hopes that Claire will accept, praising Claire to her colleagues and saying she is a magician with hair. Later that evening, Olivia's hopes come true when she receives a text from Claire, stating that she will do it. But little does Olivia know that Claire is stalking her not far from her house. The following day dawns like any other in Claire's life, a facade of normalcy concealing the darkness lurking within. Olivia arrives at the salon, her excitement and nervousness visible as she envisions the perfect look for her wedding.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
As the styling is completed, Olivia gazes into the mirror, her radiant smile affirming her satisfaction with the chosen hairstyle. Pleased with the outcome, she extends an invitation for Claire to visit her home later that night, seeking her opinion on whether the hairstyle complements the wedding dress. The idea of stepping into Olivia's world both intrigues and disturbs Claire, but she is glad to have someone in her life who she can call a friend at least. Later that evening, the door opens to a warmly lit interior, where Olivia welcomes her with genuine warmth. The apparent contrast between Olivia's world of happiness and her own pit of darkness becomes apparent. Both of them drink to celebrate Claire for saving Olivia's wedding, and Olivia excuses herself to put on her wedding dress. Claire scans the room, and makes herself comfortable with some of Olivia's things, when Olivia calls out for help. She then shoves the scarf in her bag, and also spots the house key hanging in the kitchen. Olivia asks Claire to help her put on the wedding dress, and then asks Claire to take photos of her for her mom and sister. After helping Olivia get out of the wedding dress, Claire asks more about Olivia's personal life, but eventually Olivia ends up asking about Claire's personal life instead. It's a little obvious that Claire isn't used to being asked these kinds of questions, and she shares that her dad was not around and that her mother passed away when she was only 17 years old. Olivia then encourages her by saying her family would be proud of her for what she's doing now, which is scalping her clients. Their moment gets interrupted when Olivia's soon-to-be husband, Charlie, comes home, who just dismisses Claire and excuses himself. This makes Claire uneasy, so she says her goodbyes and leaves. When she gets in the car, she has a breakdown, berating herself for acting poorly and awkwardly around Olivia. Later on, she stops at her usual coffee shop just as it is closing. They are not serving anymore, but since Claire is a regular, Dawn, the barista, makes an exception and makes her a coffee. However, when she isn't looking, Claire spikes her drink. After receiving her coffee, Claire leaves the shop and sips it outside, while she waits patiently for the drug to take effect. 4.3 minutes later, Dawn finally collapses, and it is now time for her to claim another victim. Inside the coffee shop, as she always does, Claire begins by cutting Dawn's scalp like a piece of paper. She suddenly gets distracted by her thoughts and makes a mistake with the cut, causing Dawn to awaken. Panicked, Claire stabs her multiple times in the chest until she dies. She cleans up the mess she made, and throws it in the trash. The next day, Claire is in her basement, covering all the trophies she has collected. She steps out of the basement, drops the basement key inside, and boards up the entrance, seemingly wanting to stop the killing once and for all. Prior to this, Olivia invited Claire to her bachelorette party, and she agrees to join her after all the bad stuff she'd done. A few days pass. When Claire is cutting her client's hair, a man walks in, saying his sister Dawn has been missing for 2 days, and wants to leave a missing poster in the salon. The next day, Claire is getting ready to go to Olivia's party, and is having trouble picking an outfit to wear. She is nervous and wants to leave a good impression with her only friend, Olivia, and finally picks a suitable outfit and leaves for the party. Flyers about the missing Dawn that she saw on her way there didn't deter her from attending the party. The prospect of mingling with others, forming friendships, and indulging in a world that is not her own tantalizes Claire. When Olivia spots her, she asks her to join them, and introduces Claire to her friends, and the other stylist who messed up her hair. They then make a toast and decide to having a fun night dancing, drinking, and spending time together. Later in the night, Olivia tells Claire that she is unsure about marrying Charlie, and this makes Claire remark on her fiancé's dismissive behavior previously. Olivia also asks Claire to go running with her after the wedding is finished, so Claire lies, telling Olivia that she loves to run just so she can be her jog buddy. When Claire goes to the bathroom, some of Olivia's friends make their way in too, so she hides behind them and listens in as they gossip about her. Monique is confused about why Olivia would invite such a weird person to the party, and the other girl calls Claire a creep. Claire is upset as she thought everything was going smoothly, and as a coping mechanism, her evil tendencies begin to emerge again. She ends up leaving on her own in her car, about to go home, when she sees Olivia and her friends leave the club and get into a car. And so, she follows Monique all the way to her house, until she sees the friend and a man enter the house. While battling her urges, she sneaks into the house and finds the couple asleep. She is ready to give in to her demons, but as she stands in front of them holding a blade, she sees a picture of Monique and Olivia, which snaps her out of the trance. She then quickly leaves the house without finishing the job. The following day, Claire didn't hear back from Olivia after sending her a thank you message last night. She tries to message her again and asks if there's anything Olivia needs help with, and Olivia replies that they've got it all covered. This disappoints her, because she wants to be involved, and be part of Olivia's life. Days pass, and the void within Claire grows. She yearns to fill the emptiness that claws at her soul, and her fixation on Olivia intensifies. Every morning, Claire's ritual begins by checking Olivia's social media, a window into the life she longs for. Claire's desire overwhelms her, and she finds herself following Olivia's every move. She watches her during her morning jog, hidden in the shadows. Claire's relentless pursuit of connection, however tenuous, is driving her to the brink of madness. In a daring move, she shows up at Olivia's workplace. Seeking an opportunity to get closer to her, she offers her assistance with wedding preparations. Olivia is puzzled, as she never told Claire where she worked, and expresses her desire to spend some time alone before her wedding day. Watching Claire try to be supportive and give her advice on not getting married since Olivia said she was unsure about her fiancé, Olivia just has enough of Claire trying to be her friend. The morning after their uncomfortable encounter, one day before the wedding, Claire texts Olivia, asking to talk. Her anxiety peaks, and with each passing minute without a reply, her desperation grows. She can't bear the silence, so she calls Olivia, but it is Charlie who picks up the phone. Lost for words, Claire tries to offer help for the wedding preparation again, but as Olivia is busy with the wedding, Charlie just ignores her persistence, and tells her to come early for the wedding tomorrow. Unable to resist the pull any longer, Claire gives in to her impulses and decides to sneak into Olivia's house later that evening, to check if Olivia is really busy with her preparation. She couldn't stop thinking about being close to her one and only friend again, and every moment without contact intensifies her fear of rejection and abandonment. Inside Olivia's room, Claire is overcome with an intense desire to take on Olivia's identity. The line between reality and fantasy blurs as she puts on Olivia's nightdress and smells her perfume, trying to absorb every piece of her life. In her mind, Claire is convinced that by becoming Olivia, she could possess the happiness and fulfillment she so desperately craved. However, Claire's fantasy is shattered when Olivia unexpectedly returns home. Panic surges as she hurriedly grabs her belongings and flees from the scene. As she drives away from Olivia's house, her heart pounds with fear and guilt. Back in her house, she grabs a crowbar and heads towards the basement, each step a descent into the abyss of her madness. She pries open the door and goes back to the grim chamber where she buried her past, surrounded by the wigs made from the hair of her victims. Each strand seems to hold the memories of their stolen lives. Claire is just totally consumed by this desperate desire to be them, to get away from the emptiness that's always bugging her soul. As she decorates herself with the eerie disguises, she is only met with a hollow void that refuses to be filled. In her desperation, Claire returns to her old ways, seeking solace in the act of taking another life. She targets a random woman she sees on the street. First things first, she knocks on her door, asking to use a phone, and as the woman turns her back, Claire stabs her in the neck with her scissors. The poor victim can only writhe and throw up blood, which gets all over her wooden floor. Once she's done breathing, Claire begins her scalping procedure. With the woman's hair crudely fashioned upon her own head, Claire laughs while eating pizza and watching TV. Despite her attempt to assume the identity of the random woman last night, the void within her remains, and no amount of bloodshed can fill it. The morning of the wedding, Claire goes to her usual coffee shop, where Dawn used to work, and she spots CCTV images of her that are plastered on the window. Afterwards, she arrives at the wedding and meets Charlie, whom she questions about taking good care of Olivia. Inside the chapel, she meets Olivia's mother, who shows her to the bridesmaid's room. There, Olivia is overjoyed to see her, and Claire does what she came there for. She sets up her station and, with her mad skills, starts working her magic on Olivia's hair. She then turns her attention to the little girl in the room, and offers to help her with her hair too before heading to the bathroom. Later, Claire is in the bathroom when Olivia's bridesmaid asks her to help with the veil. She comes to help and finds herself alone with Olivia in the bridal room. All of a sudden, tears roll down in her eyes. Olivia asks Claire to share her turmoil, but words fail her, and she suddenly apologizes and, in an awkward moment, admits that she lied about jogging. As the wedding ceremony commences, the bridesmaids walk down the aisle, and the atmosphere in the church is charged with anticipation and joy. Everyone's smiles turn wider as Olivia, dressed in her wedding attire, glides down the aisle, her heart filled with hope for a future with Charlie. Finally, the moment arrives as the bride stands in front of Charlie. Charlie lifts the veil from Olivia's face, but to everyone's surprise, the sight before them was not the blushing bride he expected. A sinister figure stood in Olivia's place, Claire, her face obscured by a bloody wig fashioned from Olivia's own hair. Everyone is freaking out, especially Olivia's family and Charlie, and they quickly run to the back to check on the scalped Olivia. Claire had committed the ultimate act of desperation, assuming Olivia's identity to possess the life she longed for. In the end, Claire's expression in the film is a smile of confusion. She's clueless about what she just did, as her super lonely life turned her into this crazy murderer.